So in a healthy person, what's supposed to happen is the glucose is in the bloodstream, and then the insulin binds to the insulin receptor, and the GLUT4 goes to the cell membrane to let all the glucose in. This diagram shows this perfectly. This right here is the insulin receptor. The cell membrane is represented by the blue pipe cleaners, as well as the net-like thing made out of the popsicle sticks. Everything underneath it is the cell. The GLUT4 is represented by the milk carton below the cell membrane. The top of the box represents the bloodstream, which has dots of beads representing the glucose. So in this, what would happen is that insulin will be dropped into the insulin receptor. Then this ball will rise, setting off this mousetrap. The mousetrap will then pull the switch on to turn the motor on. The motor is attached to this sheet, preventing the glucose from entering, but then the sheet will be removed once the motor is turned on to let all the glucose into the cell. Pay close attention to the area in red, because then you can see the glucose falling into the cell membrane. In type 1 diabetes, the immune cells destroy the beta cells in the pancreas, therefore the pancreas cannot produce insulin. So the insulin never binds to the insulin receptor, so then the GLUT4 also cannot let the glucose enter the cell. This is a simple diagram of a type 1 diabetes. So as you can see, the purple triangles are the diminished insulin, and so they're not binding, so the GLUT4 isn't able to open up to let the glucose in. So in type 1 diabetes, insulin is not present, and so this insulin right here, we can't put it in the insulin receptor to start it. So basically, nothing else would happen, and that's why the glucose cannot enter the cell for type 1 diabetes. In type 2 diabetes, the insulin is unable to bind to the insulin receptors properly, and in this case, that's why the GLUT4 isn't opening up to let glucose in. This leads to a buildup in the glucose in the bloodstream instead of your cells to use for energy, and that's why you feel very fatigued when you have diabetes. And for type 2 diabetes, the insulin receptor and the insulin cannot meet to let all the glucose in, so then it would be something just like